Welcome to Dubai Curious.
You know what's funny about magic tricks? The best ones happen right in front of your eyes, and you still can't figure out how they did it. Dubai pulled off the greatest magic trick in modern history. They took a patch of sand in the middle of nowhere, a place where people used to dive for pearls just to survive, and turned it into a city where a single hotel room costs more than most. People make in a year, a city where police drive Lamborghinis, where they built islands shaped like palm trees just because they could. But here's the thing that'll blow your mind. Everyone thinks they know how Dubai did it. Oil money, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. And that misconception, that's exactly what Dubai wanted you to think. See, while everyone was looking at the oil wells, Dubai was pulling the real trick behind your back. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how they did it. How a city with less oil than a Texas backyard became richer than ancient kingdoms. How they convinced the world's billionaires to buy sand, literally sand, for millions of dollars. And how they built an economy so diversified that when their oil runs out, which, by the way, is happening right now, they won't even notice. This isn't just a story about money. This is a story about the most audacious con in economic history. Except it wasn't a con, it was genius. Let me paint you a picture. It's 1950. You're standing where Dubai is today. What do you see? Nothing. Actually, that's not true. You see fishermen mending nets. You see men preparing to dive for pearls. You see a creek, basically a saltwater river where small wooden boats carry spices and textiles. The entire population? About 20,000 people. That's it. That's smaller than a decent college football stadium. The locals had been there for centuries. The Al Maktoum family had been ruling since 1833, when they basically said, screw this to Abu Dhabi, and declared independence. But ruling what? A fishing village that was one bad pearl season away from starvation. And brother, the bad season came. In the 1920s, some genius in Japan figured out how to cultivate pearls. Fake pearls. Well, not fake cultured, but might as well have been fake for what it did to Dubai, the pearl diving industry, which was literally the only thing keeping the economy alive. Dead. Overnight. Here's a number that'll make you sick. Pearl diving made up 95% of Dubai's economy. 95%. Imagine if tomorrow someone invented synthetic oil and gas. That's what happened to Dubai's pearl divers. But here's where it gets interesting. The ruler at the time, Sheikh Maktoum bin Hashir al Maktoum, could have done what any reasonable person would do: panic. Instead, in 1902, this absolute madman declared Dubai a free port. No taxes. Zero. Zilch. For any foreign trader. Think about that. Your only industry just died. Your people are starving. And your solution is to not collect taxes. It's like your house is on fire and you decide to open all the windows. But it worked. Merchants from Iran started flooding in. The population doubled. The creek became a proper trading hub. And here's the kicker: this all happened 60 years before anyone found a drop of oil. 1966. That's the year everything changed, or at least that's what everyone thinks. They found oil, the Fateh field offshore. The first cargo shipped out in 1969, 180,000 barrels. And suddenly, Dubai had money, real money, the kind of money that lets you dream big. But here's the first plot twist. Dubai's oil reserves were garbage compared to their neighbors. Abu Dhabi, their big brother in the UAE, sitting on 92 billion barrels. Dubai, 4 billion. That's like comparing a puddle to an ocean. Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum, the ruler at the time, knew this. And this is where the magic trick really begins. See, most countries that discover oil do the same thing. They pump it, sell it, spend the money on palaces and Ferraris, and pray it never runs out. It's like winning the lottery and immediately buying a bigger lottery ticket. But Sheikh Rashid, This guy was playing 4D chess while everyone else was playing checkers. He looked at that oil and saw something different. He saw a timer, a countdown clock. 4 billion barrels meant maybe 30 years, 40 if they were careful. After that, back to fishing. So he did something that seemed insane at the time. He took every dirham from oil sales, and instead of spending it on luxury, he spent it on construction equipment, concrete, steel, cranes. The man was literally building a city in the desert, and everyone thought he was crazy. Here's where Dubai pulls the greatest sleight of hand in economic history. While everyone was watching the oil derricks, Sheikh Rashid was building something else entirely. Port Rashid opened in 1972. Jebel Ali Port, the largest man-made harbour in the world, opened in 1979. Dubai International Airport expanded from a single runway to a global hub. But ports and airports don't make money by themselves. They're like building a kitchen when you don't have any food to cook. So what was the plan? This is the genius part. Dubai wasn't building infrastructure for the oil economy. They were building infrastructure for the post-oil economy, while they still had oil money to spend. Think about it like this. Imagine you know you're going to lose your job in 5 years. Most people would save money, cut expenses, panic. Dubai said, let's use these 5 years of salary to build a business that'll make us rich forever. In 1985, while oil prices were crashing worldwide, Dubai did something that made everyone think they'd lost their minds. They created the Jebel Ali Free Zone, the world's first free zone. What's a free zone? It's basically a chunk of land where normal rules don't apply. No taxes, 100% foreign ownership, no customs duties. It was like creating a country within a country. A capitalist paradise in the middle of the desert. Foreign companies looked at this and thought, wait, what's the catch? There's got to be a catch. There wasn't a catch. That was the plan. Now here's where the documentary gets really wild, because Dubai's next move was so audacious, so insane, that even today people can't believe it worked. They decided to sell the desert. I'm not being metaphorical. They literally decided to sell sand to millionaires. In 2002, Dubai changed its property laws. For the first time in history, foreigners could own land in Dubai. Actual land. Not lease it, not rent it, own it. The timing was perfect. The post-9/11 world was looking for safe investments. Oil prices were rising, the global economy was booming, and here was Dubai saying, hey, want to own a piece of paradise? In a tax-free country, where it's sunny 360 days a year. Property prices exploded, 300% increase in 3 years, 400% in some areas. People were buying apartments that hadn't been built yet, in buildings that only existed as drawings, on islands that were still being dredged from the sea. The Palm Jumeirah, the World Islands, Dubai Marina. They weren't just building a city anymore. They were building a fantasy. And here's the beautiful part of the con. It wasn't a con at all. They actually built it. Every crazy promise, every insane rendering, every impossible project, they actually did it. The Burj Al Arab, a hotel shaped like a sail that charges $2,000 a night for the cheap rooms. The Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, so tall that you can watch the sunset twice, once from the bottom and once from the top. But the real magic wasn't in the buildings. It was in what the buildings represented. Remember how I said Dubai had 4 billion barrels of oil? Well, production peaked in 1991. By 2010, oil made up less than 5% of Dubai's GDP. By 2020, less than 1%. 1%. The oil that everyone thought made Dubai rich? It's basically a rounding error in their economy now. So where's the money coming from? This is where the magic trick is revealed, and it's so obvious you'll kick yourself for not seeing it. Tourism, 20% of GDP. When you build the world's tallest building, the world's only seven-star hotel, and islands shaped like palm trees, people want to come see it. Dubai went from 1 million tourists in 1990 to 17 million in 2023. Trade. The ports that Sheikh Rashid built? Jebel Ali is now the 9th busiest port in the world. More than 60% of cargo headed to the Gulf passes through Dubai. Finance. The Dubai International Financial Center, launched in 2004, now hosts 27 of the world's 29 systemically important banks. It's the financial hub for 2 billion people across the Middle East, Africa, and South Asia. Real estate? Those crazy property schemes. Dubai now has more than 81,000 millionaires living there. That's more millionaires per capita than New York or London. Aviation. Emirates Airlines, founded in 1985 with 2 leased planes, is now one of the world's largest airlines. Dubai International Airport handles 90 million passengers a year. But here's the real kicker: these industries don't just coexist. They feed each other. Tourists fly Emirates. They shop in the malls. They buy property. Businesses set up in the free zones. Their employees need housing. The cycle continues. It's not an economy. It's an ecosystem. But let's not pretend this is a fairy tale. Every magic trick has a cost, and Dubai transformation came with a bill that someone had to pay. The laborers, the men from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, the Philippines, the ones who built the towers, who dredged the sand, who made the impossible possible. They lived in camps outside the city. 12 men to a room, working in 120-degree heat. Passports confiscated, wages withheld. The kafala system, a sponsorship system that ties workers to their employers, created a captive workforce. You can't leave the country without your employer's permission. You can't change jobs. You can't complain. Human Rights Watch called it forced labor. The workers called it survival. The environmental cost? Devastating. The Palm Jumeirah alone required 94 million cubic meters of sand. Dredging destroyed coral reefs, seagrass beds, entire ecosystems. The Arabian Gulf's coastline changed forever. Air conditioning running 24/7 in a desert city. Energy consumption per capita among the highest in the world. Carbon footprint off the charts. And then there was 2008. The global financial crisis hit Dubai like a sledgehammer. Property prices crashed 50%. Construction stopped. The Dubai world debt crisis made headlines worldwide. The emirate needed a $10 billion bailout from Abu Dhabi just to survive. For a moment, it looked like the magic trick had failed. The mirage was dissolving back into sand. But here's the thing about Dubai: they don't do failure. The 2008 crisis should have ended the dream. Instead, it made them double down. They reformed property laws, tightened lending regulations, diversified even further. And then they played their ace card, the 2020 World Expo. In the middle of a global pandemic, Dubai hosted 25 million visitors. They turned a crisis into an opportunity. Again, today, property prices are higher than the 2008 peak. Tourism broke all records. The economy is growing at 4–5% annually. They just announced plans to double the economy by 2033. But the really clever part? They're already planning for the next transformation. AI and Web3. Dubai wants 25% of buildings constructed using 3D printing by 2030. They're building the world's largest AI campus. Sustainability, solar panels in the desert. Vertical farms, a goal to be carbon neutral by 2050. Space. Yes, space. The UAE sent a probe to Mars. They're planning a city on Mars by 2117. I'm not making this up. They're not just thinking about the next 10 years, they're thinking about the next 100. So what was the magic trick? How did a fishing village become a global city in 50 years? It wasn't the oil. The oil was just the seed money. It wasn't the buildings. The buildings were just the advertisement. It wasn't the location. The location was terrible, a desert with no water, no resources, no natural advantages. The magic trick was this. Dubai figured out how to sell the future. Not land, not oil, not even luxury. They sold the idea of what a city could be if you ignored every rule about what a city should be. They sold ambition. They sold possibility. They sold the dream that in the desert anything is possible if you're crazy enough to try. And the really insane part, it worked. Dubai's transformation isn't just about economics or urban planning or oil money. It's about the power of conviction, the absolute, unwavering belief that you can will something into existence through sheer determination and strategic thinking. Sheikh Rashid once said, "My grandfather rode a camel, my father rode a camel, I drive a Mercedes, my son drives a Land Rover, his son will drive a Land Rover, but his son will ride a camel." He was wrong. His great-grandson won't ride a camel. He'll probably pilot a flying car between the floating towers of a city that doesn't exist yet, paid for by industries that haven't been invented, in an economy that runs on dreams. Because that's what Dubai really sells. Not property, not tourism, not even tax-free living. Dubai sells the impossible and business is booming. The magic trick isn't over. In fact, it's just getting started. While other oil economies are panicking about the future, Dubai is building it. While other cities argue about whether change is possible, Dubai is proving it is. The fishing village that became a global city, the desert that became an oasis, the impossible that became inevitable. That's not a magic trick, that's a masterclass in making your own luck. And the best part, they're not done yet, not even close. The next time someone tells you Dubai is just oil money and vanity projects, remember this story. Remember the pearl divers who became traders, the traders who became builders, the builders who became dreamers. Remember that every impossibility is just a possibility that hasn't been tried yet. Dubai didn't just transform itself. It transformed our understanding of what transformation means. And that, my friends, is the greatest trick of all.